guys, welcome back to another Meet the Candidate video. I am your host, Jared Moore, and tonight's candidate is Ashley Michelle Wolfvoice, and she is running for Tvlse District Seat B. Ms. Wolfvoice, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you, Jared. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Mvskoke Media, and thank you, Mvskoke Nation, for allowing us this time to speak.
Well, speaking of that, here at the start, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Just tell the audience about yourself and why you're running for office.
Okay, Hens J, Stongo, Ashley Wolfvoice, Chahu Chifkudos, Ijo Ogi Imalegados. My name is Ashley Wolfvoice. I am Deer Clan. I'm from Broken Arrow, Tlikachka. And I am running for National Council for Tvlse District. And I've been voting in Tvlse District since 1991 when I turned 18. So for me, it is very important to get the vote out. I see how we have so many citizens and it's just a low turnout. And what made me want to start running for council was have been going to the meetings, to the council meetings, and I guess it was in May, and my auntie, she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I want to go down there to Okmulgee." And she said, "They had that last week because of Memorial Weekend." And so I was so disappointed. It was kind of right then that I was thinking, I enjoy so much going to the meetings, participating and listening to everything that comes out. Jared, are you there?
Okay. Yes, you're fine.
My phone slipped here. Okay, so anyways, my parents were Dolph and Michelle Wolfvoice, and I am the daughter of a U.S. Marine Corps. My dad was in Vietnam. My parents met in 1970 at Crow Fair, and my grandparents on my Mvskoke side would be Daniel Burgess and Okima Budnot Randall. My great-grandparents were Eloise and Mitchell Budnot, Eloise Childers. My great-grandmother was Mildred McIntosh Childers and Daniel Childers. So I have been involved in the smoke shop tobacco business since I was in high school, and I've always worked. My mom, she was a single mother, and I've just had a good work ethic. I've always had to work hard, and I did not go to school, but I stayed in the tobacco business. I've been there since early 90s. I saw where we had formed the compacts, the first ones, and then went through two. So now we're at a time where we kind of really, it's up in the air. We do not know what's going on. And so my platform is food sovereignty. I feel like I would like for everyone to have fresh foods. I know down south, if agricultural for revenue, that would be something that I've been wanting to get with all the communities and see what they want. 'Cause each one is so different, And I've just enjoyed my journey on the campaign trail. And I want to let you know that I met my husband in ninth grade, Broken Arrow civics class. We've been married since 1996. We have 2 boys, Everett Ngosi and Evan Mitchell. And I've been a basketball mom, football mom, lacrosse mom. This year I have a senior, so next year I'm just gonna be an empty nester. And so I have a heart to serve. I have been there for my mom. She lived with us. We took care of her, and through her health needs, my husband had health needs. I had to learn how to cook healthy, and it was an education process for me. I didn't grow up knowing how to cook healthy. I know how to make fried chicken, all the good fried stuff that's good that we're not supposed to have too much of. And so that really has touched my heart, because for me, a lot of people might not know, but my husband is a triple transplant recipient. And I was 8 months pregnant in 07 whenever he got sick, and we didn't know what was going on. And it come to find out he had leukemia. We've had a couple of heart surgeries. So now we're back to 2017, and he got put on the transplant list because he had 2 surgeries, and it just didn't take, and he would swell up. And so I had to, no sodium. I had to learn how to cook, and it was really difficult for me. And then whenever he got his transplant, all the medications I had to learn. And so I would like to bring a lot of the things that I had to learn to the tribe, because I feel like if we can eat if we can have the fresh foods, so we can kind of stay away from the medicine, the pharmaceutical medicine. I think that it's an education, because I had to learn. And like tonight, I grabbed something to go, and it's a hard meal prepping. And so those are things that I've kind of in my personal life that I want to bring to the nation, to the people, if they have that in their heart. And I think that's about where I am.
Alrighty.
My picture. Now I can't see you anymore,
Oh,
Jared.
well,
So
I'm still
you
here.
can see me.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
We've had some questions pop up in the chat. And again, guys, as usual, I'm going to prioritize chat questions. And then when there's not any chat questions, we'll move to the email questions. So first off, TY Prol is asking, what is your political affiliation and how old are you?
I'm almost 53. I'm 52, but I'm an independent.
Okay. TY Prol asks, will you attend the listening session organized by concerned citizens about the constitutional crisis created by the Freedmen Supreme Court decision on September 16th at the Mvskoke Dome?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, along those lines, too, guys, I'm just going to interject. What's your opinion on that Supreme Court decision?
Okay. Okay. So I do know that it is important to follow our Mvskoke Constitution. And I do want to, step by step, take it slowly. And maybe I need to be educated a little bit more, but I hope that we can not take it to a higher court. I hope that we can resolve all this and stay in our court.
Okay.
But,
T.Y. Prohl asks, do you support term limits for elected and appointed tribal officials? Will you vote to put it on the ballot for the people to decide if elected?
yes.
Okay. Vacenza Italianus asks, can you share a couple of economic development plans or ventures you would like to see enacted if you win the seat on the council?
Okay. In Glenpool, my question, I really liked the way they did. They had all these questions and we got to pull a question. I misunderstood. I pulled 2 numbers. They said, what are you doing? So I had to start over. I grabbed the same number twice. So I feel like that question was meant for me, and it was about funeral homes. And would I support? I do. I would love to see us to have funeral homes. Maybe one. I don't know how it would work out, but for myself, the question was about our ceremonial and the way we take care of our people. And what I was trying to explain was my dad, he passed in '01, and he was another tribe. And I was able to receive him and stay at that funeral home with him the entire time once I received him. In 2019, when my mom passed, it was a couple of days and before I was able to get her at my church. She was at a funeral home for a day or so, and then until we could get her to my church so I could stay up with her, and which is very important. And also, I did dress both my parents. That was very important to me. And my dad was Cheyenne. We put his military, his U.S. Marine Corps military on, and the Cheyennes came in and they painted him. And so those are things that I hold dear, and it's a very precious time, and I think that would be an important thing. And I am in the tobacco business, but I have heard others ask about ceremonial tobacco. That would be great to have tobacco around where if we had a funeral home or homes. But it's always up to the people, the nation. And so I would take a consensus and find out. There are several things. My mind gets to working when I hear about business ventures. Oh goodness, I heard something today about coffee down in California. They're doing coffee plants and growing coffee down there. There's quite a bit that I could think of. Let me think in my notes here. Advocate for the College of Mvskoke to have like student assistants or reps to come in and write laws and learn how to write laws and learn legislation and budget programs. And then I've heard like nursing. A lot of people have asked if they have a nurse. I'm not sure, but there was I've heard some people talk about cleaners, and when I was talking about the funeral homes, the college, I don't know if they have a mortuary, something for students to come and learn how to do that for homes. So I hope I answered your question.
All right. Vicenza Italiana is asking, and I'm going to try to pronounce this. You guys forgive me if I pronounce this wrong. Mvskoke Media. Do you speak Mvskoke?
Not really. I can tell you this, by the time I was 6, I could count to 10, say the months and the weeks, and my great grandmother passed, and so no, I'm picked up a little bit. I would love to, and I would love for language to come up here to Broken Arrow. I'd be excited for that.
All right. T.Y. Pearl asks, would you vote to support legislation funding a federal court challenge of the Friedman ruling, like was recently approved to appeal the Strobel's case to SCOTUS?
Federal? Would I want something federal?
He's asking if you would support legislation to approve funding for
federal, to go federal?
Yes.
Maybe I'm not answering it correctly, but I don't want to go to federal court.
Okay. All right.
I don't.
T.Y. Pearl's asking, what is your position on removing blood quantum restrictions to make all bi-blood citizens equal? Would you support legislation to put this issue on the ballot to let Mvskoke decide if elected?
Okay, it would have to go to a vote of the people. Would I support that? Well, I believe I would. It would have to go and through all the avenues and all the correct procedures, and I would be for the vote for the people.
Okay. T.Y. Pearl asks, do you support public defenders for indigent defendants in civil and criminal trial courts?
Yes. I think.
Okay. T.Y. Pearl asks, do you support increasing the school clothing donation allocation?
And somewhere tie in for winter clothing. I've heard them all talk. My other candidate, I've heard different people mention, hey, around wintertime, we might need an extra jacket. We're going to be needing extras. So yes, I would be in support of that.
Okay. Vicenza Italiana asks, what are the top 2 challenges currently facing the Mvskoke Nation of Oklahoma?
Okay. We need to have all of our codes in order for McGirt. We've got to be ready for if water. We got to make sure we keep our water. Environmental. I know we need like the AI data, but we do not want to do anything that would ruin our water. Water is everything.
Okay. T.Y. Pearl asks, do you support changing the age of eligibility for elder services?
So right now it's 55. So if we moved it up to 65, somewhere in between, there are citizens that are going to go without that are in need right now. It kind of, how did we get so low to 55? Because I thought it was 60 for other programs. And so I wouldn't want to be responsible for someone losing out on services. I believe, like my platform, if we are eating right, we can stay away from medications. And just getting us, our whole nation exercising. I know I need it in my family. We do. We need it.
Okay.
So,
Sorry. TY Prohl asks, do you support increasing the emergency hardship allocation?
well, I know that that is very important. And from where would we get the funding? Um, I don't know procedures exactly, but application, anytime you fill out an application, what if, say it's $100, what if you made it $120 and that 20 went for social service programs like that? I don't know. I was just trying to figure out another way besides just another clever way to tie in some, because a lot of times I don't think that we have increased application fees on items.
Okay. Vicenza Italiana is asking, do you support term limits? I think we covered that already earlier in the video, but if you want to just quickly tell her if you support term limits.
Why, sure. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do all levels. Yes.
TY Prohl is asking, what is your position on the UKB resolution that was recently rejected?
Um, well, I don't believe in any congressman coming in to come tell us how to do something. And I stand up for sovereignty. Just, it's really, I would not want to be led around by the U.S. congressman. I just don't want them to come in and tell us how to run things. And that was how I thought it was going. So I guess I'm always in support for sovereignty. So if someone's picking on someone, I stand up for them.
Okay. Vicenza Italiana is asking if you support lowering the blood quantum for those seeking tribal membership. I think we covered that earlier, but if you want to go ahead and give her an idea if you support that.
They'll have to have the Constitution. They'll it would be a referendum, and they would have to have the vote of the people and everything. So I would be in support of all going through all the right proper procedures.
All righty. TY Prohl asks, do you support requiring that a certain percentage of units in the Southern Villa Riverline development be reserved for Muskogee citizens and their businesses and clearing the Tulsa affordable housing wait list?
I'm always in support for something for Muskogee people, and I'd be interested in who owns that land, and I'm going to like to investigate some more. But I'm always for Muskogee, and with it being right there by the casino, that would really help our people.
Okay. Vicenza Italiana is asking, can you share what ceremonial grounds you belong to?
Okay, from what I hear is we no longer have a ceremonial grounds. I'm from Broken Arrow, and because I don't have my mama here to tell me.
Okay, all right.
I know that before my great grandma passed, I went to ribbon dances, and no, after my second brother passed in 22, I was invited out to one of the grounds, and I appreciated that. I think I needed that.
Okay. T.Y. Prohl asks, do you believe non-treaty tribes located or operating in the territory of treaty tribes are subordinate sovereigns to treaty tribes? Should treaty tribes have consent authority over them?
Is this state tribes?
Well,
State
I think I'm just going to paraphrase what he's asking, but he's saying that if you have a situation where a tribe has a treaty with the federal government and they have a reservation, there are sometimes other federally recognized tribes that don't have a treaty with the federal government. And are they at the same level of sovereignty as tribes that do have a treaty?
I believe I don't feel comfortable answering that because I really don't think I have done my homework on that, because it's not the question that I thought it was about. We are a Indian, I can't remember the word, but we're a constitutional tribe, and then treaty tribe. Yeah, I don't want to touch that.
Okay,
I'd like to pass on.
Sure, that's fine.
Use.
T.Y. Prohl asks, are you a citizen of any federally recognized tribal town?
No.
Okay. Do you think that is a conflict of interest? If you have someone who's a citizen of a federally recognized tribal town like Tlaloc or Mvskoke, and they also are on the National Council or a member of the Creek Nation?
I don't believe I do. I know that day one, my dad put me on Northern Cheyenne, and then, my folks split up, and I was at 10, I was on Mvskoke. And so, yeah, I don't think there is, but I do know that in Mvskoke you cannot be dually enrolled. But I believe that Tlaloc, they might not have a dual. I'm perplexed again, Jared.
Okay, all right. Well, we are getting close to 30 minutes here. I got one more question that I wanted to ask. I don't see a question here in the chat. What's your opinion on the district voting amendment on the ballot?
Well, I would say when I came out to run for council, I think I was like for it. And now I'm kind of no, but I'm for whatever the citizens on the vote. I will support whatever the citizens vote. I just think that like right now where we can all vote, like right now everyone can vote for Tvlse District, and in 4 years, say we pass it, we will only be able to vote for the Tvlse District. And I have had a wonderful time going to all the communities, doing the forums, and getting to know everyone. And that's why I would vote no, but I support whatever the people pass.
Okay. We got 29 minutes here. I'm going to ask this last question from T.Y. Prohl because I have a feeling I'm going to need to explain it. Would you support appealing the Bigler decision on dual citizenship to the Supreme Court? If you're not familiar with the Bigler decision, there was a case previously where Jeremiah Hobiah was a citizen. I think it was Alabama. No, it was Kyaliji. And I think he was the principal chief there, and he ran for national council here. And Judge Bigler in the district court ruled that that was okay because it was a tribal town for him to have dual citizenship and also run an election. And that question was never challenged to the Supreme Court, so we don't have a Supreme Court ruling on that. And what T. Roy Pearl's asking you is, would you support the nation challenging that decision to the MCN Supreme Court?
Okay, I would. I would.
All right. You know, T.Y. Pearl, you're asking, I didn't see the question about the Supreme Court judge impeachment petition. It didn't pop up for me anywhere, but I'll go ahead. What did you want me to ask about that? I'm talking to T.Y. Pearl, right? Do you want me to ask if she's going to sign it or what? I think the treason part of that is YouTube is blocking that for some reason. But if you could reword your question without using the treason word, the word that is not to be spoken, it'll probably come up like it did last time. Are you? Well, I'll ask a version of it while I'm waiting on him. Are you aware there's a petition out right now circulating amongst citizens to impeach the Supreme Court justices for the Friedman decision?
Yes, I am aware. And okay, if they go and yes, I would.
Okay, and you would sign it? He's asking if you
Yes.
sign a petition. All right. Well, we're at 31 minutes there, guys. I think we've asked all of the questions that are in the chat and a lot of the questions that were on my email list. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I also want to thank Ms. Wolf Voice for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. And for you guys coming up, Thursday the 11th, Thomasine Osborne is at 6 p.m. And then on Friday, the 12th at 6 p.m. is Jacina Brown. And then next week, on Monday the 15th at 6 p.m. is Nelson Harjo. And then on Tuesday the 16th at 6 p.m. is Sandra Parrish. So that's all we have scheduled. We got 4 more candidates, and then early voting starts on the 17th. I do want to remind you guys, if you're watching this, tomorrow is the deadline to register to vote. So you need to get out and register so you can go vote. And with that being said, we'll see you guys later. Mado, Hadam, Chihichat, Lees.
Thank you.